And so now I invite you to go with us, turn your mind back in history to the 1800s and listen to the voice of Sojourner Truth.
Well, children, I'll tell you, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. Now, it seems to me that between the women's of the North and the Negroes of the South, all of them talking about their rights, this here white man gonna be in a fix pretty soon. But now what's all this here talking about, huh? That man over there in black he say women need to be helped into the carriages and lifted over the ditches and have the best place everywhere. Huh. I ain't never been helped in no carriage or lifted over a ditch. And ain't I a woman? I have plowed and planted and gathered into the barn. And ain't I a woman? Look at my arms, look at them. I can work as hard and eat as much as any man when I can get it, and bear the lash just as well. And ain't I a woman? Now I done bore me some 13 children and seen them most all sold off into slavery. And when I cried out my mother's grief, none but Jesus could hear me. And ain't I a woman? Then they get to talking about this thing in the head. What's that they call it?
Intellect.
Intellect. That's it, daughter. Intellect. Now, what's that got to do with women's rights and with Negroes' rights, huh? If my cup hold a pint and yourn hold a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? Then that man over there in black he say women's can't have much rights as men 'cause Christ weren't a woman. Now, where did your Christ come from, huh? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man didn't have nothing to do with it. Now, yet the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the whole world upside down. Then all of these women here together ought to be able to turn it right side up again. And now that they is asking to do it, you men had better let them. This ain't our woman by Sojourner Truth. They said, wait. Well, I have waited. For 100 years, I have waited. In cotton fields and kitchens, in balconies, and back doors and chain gangs, in colored toilets and crowded ghettos, out of sight of schools and voting booths, and some said later, and some said never. Then a new wind blew, and a new voice rolled its wings in a quiet urgency, strong, determined, sure. No, it said, not later, not never, not even soon, but now, walk. And I heard the other voices echo the freedom words, walk together, children. Don't you get weary. Whisper them, prayed them, sang them, shouted them, walk. And I walked through the streets of Montgomery until a link in the chain of patient acquiescence broke. Then again, sit down. And I sat down at the counters of Greensboro, ride. And I rode the bus for freedom, kneel. And I went down on my knees in prayer and in faith, march. And I march until the last chain falls, singing, we shall overcome. And not all the dogs and hoses in Birmingham, not all the clubs and guns in Selma can turn this black tide. Not all the jails can hold these young black faces from their destiny of manhood, of dignity, of equality, of the American dream. 300 years past due. Now, now, now. Hey! This last poem is by Nikki Giovanni. It too is one of my favorites. The name of the poem is Ego Tripping. There must be a reason why. I was born in the Congo. I walked the Fertile Crescent and I built the Sphinx. I designed a pyramid so tough that a star that glows once every 100 years falls to the center, giving divine perfect light. I am bad. I sat on the throne drinking nectar with Allah. I got hot and sent an ice age to Europe to cool my thirst. My oldest daughter is Nefertiti. The tears from my birth pains created the Nile. I am a beautiful woman. I gazed on the forest and burned out the Sahara Desert. With a packet of goat's meat and a change of clothes, I crossed it in 2 hours. I'm a gazelle, so swift, you can't catch me. Done. For a birthday present, when he was 3, I gave my son, Hannibal, an elephant. He gave me Rome for Mother's Day. My son Noah built Newark, and I stood proudly at the helm as we sailed on a soft summer's day. I turned myself into myself and was Jesus. Men intoned my loving name, all praises, all praises. I am the one who would save. I sowed diamonds in my backyard. My bowels deliver uranium. The filings from my fingernails are semi-precious jewels. On a trip north, I caught a cold. Blew my nose giving oil to the Arab world. I am so hip, even my errors are correct. I sailed west to reach east and rounded off the earth as I went. The hair from my head thinned and gold was laid across 3 continents. I am so perfect, so divine, so ethereal, so surreal I cannot be comprehended except by my own permission. I mean, I can fly like a bird in the sky.
This video raises questions and I need for you to be extremely honest in the comments when answering them. And just so you know, I have 3 questions. Have you ever wanted to be a writer? Number 2, if you wrote a book about yourself, what would you title it? And number 3, tell me something big you want to accomplish in life. Now please be honest when answering these questions. Share this video with anyone you deem necessary, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.